All right, now that we've had some practice with solving for speed and solving for time and solving for distance, we need to get some practice with actually looking at a graph, being able to create a graph as well as interpret it. Now, there are different types of graphs. It could be a speed time graph, it could be a distance time graph. We're really just going to look at the distance and time. And if you recall from the beginning of the year, we actually talked about that when there's a graph, there's typically always an independent and a dependent variable. If you remember my little drawing of the cat stuck in the tree and there's a fireman, we said he could save the cat if he wants to, but he doesn't have to, and you guys all made jokes about it and talked about abandoning the cat. It wasn't very nice, but regardless, we said that the cat depends on the fireman, and the fireman is completely independent because he doesn't have to help the cat if he doesn't want to. Now, if he doesn't want to, then he's just not a very nice person. So you're going to find that when it comes to a graph, your independent variable is always going to be on the bottom, which is going to be your x-axis, whereas the dependent variable is going to be over here on your y-axis. Now, since we're doing a time and distance graph, that means that time is either going to be dependent or it's independent. So time is either going to depend on distance, and if that's true, then that would mean that time would stop if you stopped moving, which makes no sense. So time cannot be dependent, it has to be independent. And if you think about what we did at the beginning of the year, I said, class is out at this time, look at the clock, tell it to go faster. You guys all looked at the clock, you all screamed at it, but it didn't change the fact that you had to wait for the bell to ring in class, okay? So time is going to move whether you want it to move or not. It's not going to slow down for you, it's not going to speed up for you, so it's completely independent, it's on its own. However, if you're thinking about running a race, the distance at which you run depends on how much time you're given. If I give you, if someone is running away from me and I give them a 2-second head start versus a 2-hour head start, the more time I give them, the farther they can get away from me. As we go through the rest of this video, you're going to see other types of graphs, but you're going to notice that they all have time at the bottom, and they're going to have distance on the y. So the only types of graph that we are really going to be looking at are distance and time graphs. And what I want you guys to get used to in reading on this graph is, what does the line mean? Okay, so we're going to talk about what the line means, and eventually we're going to get to the point where you're going to have to plot the line and then figure out the slope, for those kids who know slope, and you're going to see the connection between the speed formula and actually the slope of a graph. And eventually I'm going to have you guys make an equation for it too. Yay. Alright, so on this graph, you've got two different people here. But before we go into what's happening in their little situations, what I want to talk to you about is what it actually means, the higher up on distance versus the lower. So if we're looking at the person, the blue line, okay, as the line goes to the right, time is going by. So 1 second, 2 seconds, 3 seconds, 4, 5, 6, and so on. All right, and then as it goes up, they are moving away from the start. So we'll say the 0 is the start, okay? And as the line's going away, they're going farther. So as time is ticking, they are traveling a greater distance away from where they began. So the blue line, because it's going at a straight line, it's not curvy at all. It actually has the same slope, or if I actually looked at it here, for every 1 second, they're 5 meters away. If I look at the 2, they're actually 10 away. So because they're moving at a consistent rate, it's just a straight line up. Now, if we look at the red line, you're going to notice that they are not moving nearly as fast, because when 1 second goes by, they're actually only 2 meters away. When 2 seconds go by, they're 4 meters away. But regardless, as this line is going up, they're getting farther away from where they started. Okay? Now this straight line right here, okay, it's not going up and it's not going down. So let me come back to that one. So if it's going up, they're moving farther away. So as this one's moving back, if the line's going down, it does not mean that they're slowing down. It just means they're coming back. Their distance from their start is going back to the 0. So they're coming back home, if you will. Now, if you look at that, going back to that little straight line up here, if it's not going up, it means they're not moving away. And if it's not coming backwards, it means they're not coming back. They're not moving at all. And if they're not moving at all, then they have no speed. Because if you remember the speed formula, it was distance divided by time. All right? And if your distance is 0, and this person here, from here to here, it's 3 seconds, 0 divided by 3, it's 0. So as you're looking at these graphs, what I need you to understand is as the graph is going up, they're moving away. And as the graph is coming down, they're coming closer. And if it's just a straight line, they're not moving at all. All right, here's another distance and time graph. So once again, as it's moving farther away, it means they're leaving. And as it returns, it comes back. We're going to make a little scenario here. We're going to say that I'm cooking. Okay, I've got something on the skillet, and I hear something beeping in the background. Oh, my laundry is done. I have to go get it and switch the load. I don't want to leave my cooking alone for any more than 100 seconds because I don't want my food to burn. So I'm giving myself 100 seconds to get downstairs to my washing machine, put the stuff in the dryer, take the stuff out of the dryer, and so on. But I got to get back in time or else my food will burn. So in this scenario, I'm walking, I'm walking away from where I started. That's why it's going up. And then there's a cute little dog. Oh, it's Jinx. Oh, she's so pathetic and cute. I have to stop and I gotta pet her. So I'm not moving at all because I am stationary. I am petting my dog. She's adorable. And according to this graph, I am petting her for a total of 20 seconds. Okay? And then I go, oh shoot, I still gotta do laundry. So you're gonna notice I move even farther away. I gotta get to my washing machine, but you'll notice the line is a lot steeper. So I'm in a hurry because I realized I wasted too much time petting my dog. And then I finish it, and then I gotta run back to the kitchen, which is why it goes back down. And I'm a rush to get back to my food, and I made it just in time. The point is, though, these lines, they do represent speed. The speed and how fast they are is going to go with the steepness, but whether or not it's going up is if it's the distance goes away, and then if it comes back, it's coming towards you. And of course, if it's a straight line, you are not moving. All right. Now, this next problem, once again, it's a distance and time graph. So based on this graph, you can tell that the person stopped once, and they stopped for approximately 2 hours. You can tell that they've been moving consistently at the same speed, and that they've been going away from their starting point because the line's never coming back down. Now, if I ask you how far did she travel in total, you got to remember that your distance is on the y-axis. So we got to look at where does this graph end, okay? It ends right here. And so if I ask how far, you're going to go all the way to the left and see how far in total did she travel, and that's 14. 14 what though? Make sure you look at the units. So it's 14 kilometers. So how far did she travel? She traveled 14 kilometers. Now, this is similar to what you're going to have on your homework, but it's not the same exact answers. I'm just trying to give you an idea of how to find them. All right, how long did it take her to travel this 14 kilometers? Well, time's on the x-axis, so if this is where we ended, you're going to go all the way down. Took about 16 hours. I'm going to use a different color because you can't see blue on blue. So 16 hours. What was her average speed in kilometer per hour? So first off, we should know based on this that she did stop. Okay? Realistically, when you're finding the speed of something, it's never going the exact same speed all the time. If you're thinking about a car or your parents driving, they speed up, they slow down, they speed up, they slow down, unless they're on cruise control, and even then it still isn't perfect. So what average does is it takes all of the speeds and it combines them, just like if it was the average for your grade. If you had an A, a B, and a C, you average them together, you probably end up having a B. Okay, so I actually did find the average of the distance, and I did find the average of the time. So based on our equations, you can either use the speed equals distance divided by time, or you can do dirt. I know I've been really pushing dirt, so I'll go ahead and do dirt just to make sure so you're not feeling confused. So dirt. All right, we have the distance is 14 kilometers. All right, and we have the time as 16 hours. If I ask you what the speed is, you're going to have to solve for r. So I have rewritten what I have from the last page. So 14 kilometers equals r times 16 hours. In order to get r by itself, you're going to have to divide both sides by 16 hours. And when you do that, you should get 0.875. That's what 14 divided by 16 is. And then kilometers divided by hours, you can't do that. So it's going to be kilometers per hour. Okay. If you'll notice, I did 14 divided by 16, didn't I? 14 is the same thing as the distance. And 16 hours is the time. And you're going to see here, it's the exact same thing as the speed formula. So both these formulas are the same thing, but you're going to notice that when you do this, distance divided by time, not only are you doing the same thing as the other formula, but you're ended up doing rise over run, if you remember those terms at all. I'm going to keep throwing that at you. Some of you may have got what I said in the last page. Others of you are probably still thinking they don't. So I'm going to try one more time. Distance we said was going up and down, right? We said a distance of 14, and it's going up 14. So rise 14, if you will. Rise. 14 is the distance. It's as much as you are going up here. Okay, you went up 14. And then in order to go from 0 to that 16, we had to run. So that time, the bottom is your run. So if you had a staircase 14 over 16, you're making a slope. 14 over 16 is your slope, which simplifies to that 0.875. If I were to go over to my time here, and we said that this is 1 second, every 1 second on average, they should be going about 0.875 kilometers per hour. You'll notice it's not quite 1, but it's close to it. So that it is accurate with this graph, and I hope that's clicking for some of you. Otherwise, we got a lot of time for you to get it. Okay, now, how many stops did this person make according to this graph? If you know any movement up or down anytime the graph is going up or down, there's movement. If it's going straight, they're not moving. So there's only one time that there was a stop, and that's when the graph looks straight like this. So how many stops were made? Just one. How long did she stop for? Well, if you look close, it started here and ended here. So it has to be between 2 and 12. So between 2 and 12 is 2, and the unit for this graph is in hours, so it should be 2 hours. All right, this is probably one of the hardest problems that you're going to see. What we did before when we got that 0.875 kilometers per hour was we found the average speed of the whole thing. That included when she was moving and when she was not moving. However, this time it's a little different. We do not want to include the stops. So that little 2-hour gap that we had here, we got to get rid of it. So we need to figure out what's our distance and what's our time, and then you can solve. I do think the easiest one for this one is to do the speed. Speed equals distance over time. That way there isn't as much moving around. But if you want to keep doing dirt, by all means, keep doing the dirt. Okay? Either or works. The R is the same thing as speed, so you can do dist if you want. All right, so, sorry. Distance. They still travel the same distance, so we're still looking at this little spot here, and we're going to go all the way to the left of the graph. The distance is still 14. So if our distance is 14 kilometers, we're good. We just need to find the time in order to find that average speed, but we don't want to include the stops. Now, before when we did the time, we said that it was 16, right? And that's why I did 14 divided by 16. However, when we exclude the stops, we had to get rid of that 2 hours. So instead of including that 2 hours of nothingness, we need to subtract that from the 16. So instead of it being 14 divided by 16, we have to subtract that stationary period from whatever our total time was, which happened to be 16, and that would be 14. So our new time is 14 hours. So our speed is 14 divided by 14, which is 1, and kilometers divided by hours, you can't do it, so it's kilometer per hour. Okay, so her average speed, if you do not include the stops, should be 1 kilometer per hour. That slope is representing this actual speed formula. The password of the day is Gambit. I repeat, the password of the day is Gambit. You won't know what that means unless you need help on your homework. Gambit. All right, this is what your homework's going to look like tonight. You're going to notice that there's a graph. There's more movement in it. There's more stationary periods, but it's still a distance in time. One difference you might see, though, is instead of it being hours for every single slash, is every 2 boxes is going to represent 1 hour. So that means that all these little red pieces here that I'm drawing in are going to be half hours. So you've got 1:30, 2:30, 3:30, 4:30, 5:30, okay? And then all the other ones are just on the hour. So 1:32, 2:33, 3:34, and so on. So in this video, we did talk about how to find how far she traveled. We talked about how to find how long it takes. We did her average speed. We talked about where we can find the stops and what they look like. We looked at how to figure out how long those stops are. Her average speed excluding stops. Earlier in the video, I did talk about what the shape of the graph looks like when she's moving the fastest. And then we also talked about this too, the difference of how they're moving if the graph is a straight line going up versus going straight. So if you are stuck on any of these, please, please, please look back in the video. And if the video still isn't helping you, please contact me. Happy e-learning. Have a good day.